Week 2 concludes. Mr. Fontanella is here. He's having a good time. He's laughing. The Mets are trying to make the wild card. It's all good. Rapid fire. Let's go.
I'm on fire!
All right, you're not on fire.
I knew it, you're lying! I'm fired!
Team Fontanella versus the Young Gun. Game of the week to start off as always. I said Cam was going to play angry, and he played angry. 30 points. Font looking good with that blunt pick, 18.3. Banged up receivers still do well. Cardinals D, 25 carries him to the win. You go to the real Young Gun. Not a very good 0-2 start. Dalton is playing well. Decker carried the load this week. Just not enough firepower for the real Young Gun early. Hopefully he can do something to remedy that.
Two longtime VIP members in his league. We had Team Fish pulling out the dub, 121-11. Russell Wilson had a pedestrian day. Thomas Rawls had a pedestrian day. Jeremy Langford disappointed on Monday night. Dez finally got the ball. Zach Miller is in your lineup. Moving right over to Team Fish, we had Rivers having a great game. Crabtree, Landry, Matthews. This was all a solid team effort. Solid team win for Team Fish. We'll see what he gets next week.
Coach Jim racks up another W. Andrew Luck was shit, but Tevin Coleman continues to surprise. Him along with the Broncos D really carried Goodman. Overall, not the best scores. Adrian Peterson's injury is going to hurt. We'll talk about that later. Moving on to TCP. If you're TCP, this is not the start you want. Tyrod alone couldn't do it. Just TCP does not look good right now. We'll get to that later. Hopefully, TCP has a bright future this season, but does not look good right now.
I've been a Jacobs believer since the beginning, and I will continue to be a Jacobs believer, even though he has zero running back depth. I am going with Team Jacobs. MMED loses this week, falls to 1-1. A pretty rough 91 points. Robert Aguayo had 0 points. I think it's about time to move on from Robert Aguayo. Moving right along, we had Ebron and Cobb didn't do much. Carlos Hyde, coming off of week 1, got stuffed by a stout Carolina defense. Wasn't able to find much room. Moving forward, I think Jacobs has a very good team. He needs to find a running back in the waiver wire. We will see what happens moving forward with Team Jacobs.
Injuries abound for Twan's squad, and he still finds a way to get the job done. Matt Forte has proven me wrong immensely. This guy will be a stud moving forward. Injuries to Abdullah, Moncrief, and Marshall. You gotta think he would have lost this one, but he didn't. That you just gotta credit that to Twan's ownership. You go to Namath. Big opportunity for him to win this game. He couldn't get the job done. Stewart's injury hurt him there. Spencer Ware, 9.5, a little surprising. AJ Green, even more surprising. Just inconsistent performance overall from Semi Namath. Better weeks ahead. Hopefully this does not become a trend.
Next matchup I'd regretfully like to talk about is New England Porches versus Connor James. This was another astounding, disgustingly good week for Long Island Pickers. They throw up 140. Mike Wallace does it again. Greg Olson is so consistent. Fitz, Edelman, Bernard, Ezek, Big Ben. I'm telling you, Dom hasn't put his fingerprints on this. He has not fucked this team yet, but it's coming. 2 straight strong performances from Long Island Pickers. I don't know how they picked their way to these 2 wins. New England Porches, tough tough break. Puts up 125 and gets a loss. Deshaun Jackson is going to be boom or bust every single week. Allen Robinson has definitely underperformed so far this year. I don't see that continuing. Better things ahead for New England Porches, who falls to 0-2.
Shittiest game of the week, the White Mamba versus Deefs and Nuts. A wild 80-80 score there. Deefs Nuts barely pulls it out. Kamish got a little lucky in that this week. Bennett went off. Very nice play. Special teams were on par. Rogers carried the load, but other than that, just nothing impressive. Go over to the Mamba. I mean, a couple of decent scores. Odell still underperforming a bit. CJ 17. Just a very, very underwhelming game that will be forgotten quite quickly. Both these teams have a lot of work to do.
Duke Johnson is starting to find his rhythm.
Solid 7.6.
Help me, Jesus! Help me, Jewish God! Help me, Allah! Ah! Help me, Tom Cruise!
Rapid fire over. It is time to talk about what is new, the news around the league. And to start off the show this week, a surprise, even to myself, Mr. Fontanella has a surprise guest with us on FaceTime.
Yes, this portion of our show is sponsored by Cisco the Human Network. Here we go. Via satellite cam, we have the Kamish. Kamish, how you doing, man?
I fucking knew it! I knew it! Okay, let's keep going.
Interesting. What's going on, Kamish? You got a little... Kamish, got a little sickness? What's the deal?
A little sick. Came down with a cough last week. A little virus went around the team. Actually started by Emmanuel Sanders. Whole team had the virus. We weren't feeling too hot. We're just getting over with it now, though.
But you guys got antibiotics. You guys got antibiotics just in time to squeak out the win. It looks like. You should not be proud of that win, my friend. That is a piss poor win against an even piss poor opponent. Usually Mamba, I didn't expect Mamba to have that kind of showing, or you to have that kind of showing. It happens. I want you to talk. What's on your mind, Kamish? What brings you here today via Cisco Cam, the Human Network?
What's on my mind is, first of all, a win's a win. Was it pretty? No. That's why we made the big move this morning with Derpy Hassett. We're welcoming Russell Wilson and Des Bryant to the team. We got some pancakes today at Denny's.
Russell's good people.
Me, myself, Des, Todd, and Russell. We all got pancakes.
What about the OC?
It went well. Say that again?
What about the coordinator? No?
No, we don't have a coordinator at the moment.
You fired him
just like
too.
to bring Todd around. Yeah, he was fired after the week 1 loss, actually. So Denny's went well, but just to date back, so the reason we made the move to get rid of Aaron so quick was because of a conflict he had with Todd last night at Outback. Every Tuesday night, me and the guys, we go at Outback, we get some steaks. This week it was Todd, the captain, Aaron, former captain, and we brought Martellus Bennett with us after the big week 2 performance. And Aaron said something about Todd.
Like what?
His girlfriend, didn't go well. Words were said that I can't repeat on this podcast, but Aaron was out of line, and that's why we got rid of him pretty much. We weren't happy with how he treated Todd, the number 1 pick and prized possession of the team, so we kind of just moved on quick.
So, quick question for you, Kamish. This move had nothing to do with Aaron's performance on the field.
No, Aaron did a good job for us. He knew the playbook. He got along with the receivers well. He had 2 good enough weeks that we were happy with his performance. So yeah, it was nothing to do with the performance. It was strictly to do with he really crossed team lines, and as an organization, Deep's Nuts looks to keep everybody in line as unified as one in line.
You know, you gotta ask him the origin of the
I gotta respect that. You run a tight ship. I'm the same way with my organization. Real quick tidbit. You reminded me of something that happened this week. This week, for some reason, Hauschka loves to have the team over to his house late. So it was Hauschka, it was DeAndre Washington. It was all the bench players, and Hauschka was hosting, and Shady showed up. Okay, Shady shows up and tells Turbin to leave. Okay, and if Shady did not apologize to Turbin, Shady was going. But Shady knew he was out of line. He had a little bit to drink. He was smoking a little bit. I allow a recreational day a week where we can all go and just get high and just drink away our problems. And this was the week, and Shady was pretty close to going. But however, it's everything is all straightened out, Commish. Real quick, I know Porch doesn't like how long this segment's going, but I don't really care right now.
Oh yeah, when it's about you, you get to go as long as you want.
Any news and notes from around the league you just like to throw out there as far as any owners or give me an update. How we looking as far as the front office goes?
Now, I think the front office is doing a decent job. I like the way the league's run so far. I'd like to see more trades. I'm not sure why nobody's making any moves, especially you, Fontanella. You're usually knocking on everyone's door. I know your phones, the lines are open 24 hours from Monday to Saturday. Sunday you can't be reached. But I expect more trades out of the league. The first one was struck today. By my surprise, I had no idea that Dennis was going to accept the trade. We talked briefly. It didn't seem like he was going to do the deal. I'm on the bus on the way to class today, and I see my trade was accepted. I was actually going to meet Aaron at the office, and I had to go meet him and tell him he was gone. He wasn't happy. He had to pull his kids from school. He was upset about that. He just moved in. His kids just started school. He wasn't happy, so it was a whole.
It was a long day. I want to just say something about
it was a really long day.
I have a stable full of horses, backs. I have a stable full of absolute workhorses. Nobody wants to offer me a trade. It's pretty upsetting. I have an abundance of guys rotting away on my bench, kind of like a few years ago when I had my abundance of tight ends. It's a difficult time to be.
That's what I have this year.
Yeah. Well, Commish, we're gonna wrap it up. We appreciate the time. We want you to go back to your recreational activities. Be safe, man. Enjoy the game, and we'd like to have you back soon. All right?
Yeah, I would love to be back. Thanks for having me on, guys. You guys do a great job with your show. One suggestion from the commish is maybe you sprinkle in some of the rest of the league in the weekly report. You FaceTime your Hoffmans, your Camelhars, your Sports.
Well,
don't say Dom.
Well, you know what? We have
sprinkle it up, man.
We've incorporated that in the past.
I would like to get the whole league involved in the weekly reports.
You know what, Mike? That's something I've wanted to implement for a while. I think that's up to the league members to fucking step up. Because I've always said since the first time we did this, you want to be on the show, let us know. So I think that's the message to everybody else out there.
I'm going to recruit. I'm gonna try to get Haynes next week to video chat in. We're gonna try to get some Haynes action.
Cheers, man. Good week 3. Best of luck to everybody.
Drink your sorrows away, Commish. Have a good night.
Time is winding down. It is time to preview next week's matchups, and I thought to do a little something nice. I'd add a little graphic underneath both of us, Font and myself, to catalog our records for these picks. As you can see, I don't remember what they are now, but we'll keep bringing them on every week, and let's bring up the board.
Week 3 predictions for Team Font. It's going to be Team Fish versus TCP. Team Fish will win again, and TCP will fall to 0-3. Another display, another example of them drafting the worst team in the league. MMED, Derp Sauce. Dennis wins his first game as he welcomes Mr. Aaron Rodgers onto his squad. MMED falls to 1-2. Twan Squad versus Coach Jim. 2-2-0 matchup. 2-2-0 teams matching up. I think even though Coach Jim is lost AP, Twan Squad even took a bigger hit with his injuries. I'm going to go Coach Jim, going to 3-0. Team Font versus Say My Nameth. I will win this week. LeGarrette Blount will have 2 touchdowns on Thursday Night Football. White Mamba versus New England Porches. The White Mamba is not going to lose. He's not going to lose again this week, and he's not going to throw 80 points up. Mamba is going to win this week. New England Porches in shambles falls to 0-3, with possibly the top three lineups in the league. New England Porches could fall 0-3. And Deef's Nuts and a real young gun. Brother on brother, mano a mano, speech impediment on speech impediment. We have the real young gun winning. Deef's Nuts. Russell Wilson has not learned the playbook entirely yet. It's going to be a miserable week for Deef's Nuts. Real young gun gets their first win of the season. What about you, Porsche? What do you see this week?
I love Fish against TCP. That's probably the lock of the week, the no-brainer. Derp Sauce, MMED. I will agree. I'll go with Derp. I think I hyped up MMED a little bit too much going into this year. Coach Jim Twan, gotta love those 2-0 matchups. Coach Jim will advance to 3-0. Team Fontanella, Say My Nameth. I think Say My Nameth bounces back strong and gets a surprising victory over Team Fontanella. The White Mamba versus the New England Porches. I gotta win sometime, right? I'll go with Neps.
Maybe not.
Deef's Nuts, real young gun. This is the tough one for me. It really is. I am gonna go with the real young gun.
Wow.
I think a lot of winless teams are gonna finally get something this week. So that's my dog pick. Game of the week, the second edition. Absolutely fantastic matchup. Both 2-0. Team Jacobs, the surprising underdog that Font truly believes in, versus the team that Font despises more than anything else in this world, Long Island Pickers. Pickers, the 3-point dog in this matchup. 3-1 favorite, Team Jacobs. Font, who do you like?
I believe that I find this interesting that Pickers is the underdog because they have had such high-scoring games the first 2 weeks. Looking across their matchups, I think that Theo Riddick is going to have a game. I think he's going to go off this week. I think he's going to touch the ball at least 15 to 20 times as far as pass catching and everything with Abdullah out. I think White is a big mistake. White should not have started for him. As far as Long Island Pickers, Charles Sims is inserted into that lineup. I think, honestly, his lineup just got there. Unfortunately, it pains me to say this, their lineup just got stronger, adding Charles Sims because Martin's out. I think, unfortunately, Long Island Pickers will win this week. Team Jacobs still has plenty of promise. This is not the end of the road for Team Jacobs, especially when Julio's banged up. Not as weak, but he will be there. Long Island Pickers wins. 105-77.
The Long Island Pickers, week 1, dropped 130. Week 2, they dropped 141. They will not keep up with that pace. They will score surprisingly low, and Team Jacobs will rise to the top of this league after 3 weeks. I'm jumping on the bandwagon, Font.
I'm on the bandwagon. It pains me to say. I'm a realist, you know.
Team Jacobs will surprise the favorite Team Jacobs. I guess he'll do what the Vegas thinks he's gonna do, but you know, I gotta be honest, Font. I think with Le'Veon coming back soon, I think Pickers. We're going to be talking about them for a while.
They have Le'Veon, too?
They have Le'Veon,
Oh
too.
my
I think
God.
we're going to be talking about Pickers for a while, so Font, I have to ask you this. There is a chance. It's only 2 weeks. This could be the year of the Picker. In a world, what would you do if you were living in a world where we love Connor James, forget about him for a minute. What if you lived in a world where Dom Bove won this league championship?
Dom Bove will never win a championship.
How do you know
Dom
that, though?
Bove.
How do you know?
Dom Bove. Let me tell you something about Dom Bove, okay? I liked Dom Bove, and I still like his family. Dom Bove rubbed me the wrong way multiple occasions. I just want to say, if Dom Bove ever wins this league, alright, right now I'm saying it. Dom Bove wins a championship this year, I'm getting a tattoo of Haynes on my back.
Jacoby Brissett! Ah! Jacoby Brissett! Ah!
Alright, relax.
He's the greatest!
Alright, I'm saying it right now. You heard it here first.
27 yards.
Porch, you're ruining my moment here.
Jacoby Brissett! I can't take it!
Porch. If the Pickers win this year, if they pull out a miraculous win, I will get a picture of Dom and Haynes Dom and Haynes holding hands on the back of my back.
We'll hold you to that. Let's go.
All right, gentlemen, esteemed members of this league, it's been another weekly report. Another uneventful week as far as Team Jacobs still continuing his triumphant win streak. I think it's going to be a great week 3. I think some 0-2 teams will finally win a game. I'm looking forward to it. Thanks for the commish for coming on, spending a little time with us on his Thursday night. Porsche, anything to say before we wrap it up?
I don't know if any of you can hear that, but my dad's having a good old time upstairs watching Jacoby Brissett decimate the Houston Texans.
Porcelli's having Big Porcelli's having a stroke upstairs.
Either way, we had fun shooting this one. Power rankings coming back soon. We know you guys love that. We will see you next week.
Good luck, y'all.